Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to We're Gonna Need a Bigger Podcast, where we're gonna talk phenomenal levels of shit directly into your ears.
Ooh.
My name's Callum, and today I'm joined by
Matt
and Sam.
Brilliant. So yeah, today we're gonna sort of look at our most anticipated of 2019. So that covers pretty much anything, films, games, music, just whatever you feel like.
Mind you, remember we're filming this in March.
Yes.
We still have
It is early 2019.
It is still early 2019, but we have a good
2 months,
9 months
already to...
Yeah, but we've got 9 months to cover.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that
So
is
that's
how...
and plenty of time.
There's a
Still
lot of
go.
stuff that has been announced.
Anyone
Yeah.
who complains, they can suck one. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Great.
Also, side note, my
That's half the
throat
audience
is really
gone.
bad. So if I sound awful, more awful than usual, because I sound awful on the best of times.
Yeah.
But if I sound like, it's probably
Wow,
because
that
my
last
throat.
episode we went a whole hour without mentioning any.
No,
JoJo
we
reference.
made one right at
great.
the end.
Right at the end,
Right
yeah.
at the end,
But you lasted 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite
I'm-
There we
impressive.
go.
I'm so disappointed
Wow.
in both of you. Right.
I didn't do shit.
Okay, sure.
Don't be attacking me.
Yeah,
Granddad.
whoa.
Listen,
It was
I'll
me.
attack
It
who
was
I
me.
want in this room.
It was me, Grandpa
That's
Joseph.
how it works. There's no Joseph.
Oh god, okay, no, I've done it now.
Okay.
Let's jump straight. What are you looking forward to, Cal? It's like a film. Should we films
Yes,
first?
yes.
Yeah.
Why not? This is generally film oriented, so yeah.
Yeah, fair point.
Films.
Fair point.
So I think the big one at this point for me is going to be Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Or as we think it might be titled in the UK, Godzilla 2.
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
posters
the
are
King
showing a
of the
Probably
two.
will be.
Yeah,
I'd rather just be called the King of the
yeah.
Monsters. To be
I think it's a
honest.
better
I'm
title.
kind of hoping for a Rampage 2.
Rampage 2.
That was great in 4D, not gonna lie.
Fair. I won't
just
disagree.
I can't believe you've even brought that up.
Yeah,
I
no.
feel like we should,
Hey,
I feel like we should end it there.
Yeah, no, that's a
it
good.
was movie of the year last year for me.
Jesus
Not for the
Christ.
film, but for the experience.
For the
Right.
experience.
Getting lobbed around in that cinema room. Oh, it's
I can't
quite
believe,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now look,
So-
back to a good
yeah.
film, which
Yeah.
is Godzilla. Let's.
Oh,
Yeah,
alright,
well.
well.
Well, actually,
Well, no, right. So the new one looks good though.
yes.
Yeah?
So it's a sequel
Yeah.
to Godzilla 2014, which I did not like. But
Yeah.
this one,
I didn't actually watch that.
it was a very mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag, yeah.
But so I got really hyped for the Godzilla 2014. Saw the trailers, watched it. Now this one, I was determined not to be excited. I was like, no, you fooled me once. But my God, they are doing everything right to get me in that cinema. You got Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra. Like, if you don't know what that means,
Don't
don't know what that means. You can get
Oh,
fucked,
no.
right? Get me there. I want to see that.
Like, the thing I like about it as well is, I mean, we've talked about this loads, but I really liked Kong Skull Island.
So did I. Yeah, great
And
yeah,
film.
that was
one,
quite
yeah,
good,
one of
yeah.
the things I loved about it was like the visuals, like the shots in
Absolutely.
that film were gorgeous,
Yeah,
and like the shots in the trailer for Godzilla.
yeah.
I'm getting that same vibe. I'm like,
Absolutely.
it's literally like they've
Yeah.
gone, okay, Kong looks really good, so maybe we should do that. Like, there's a shot of like King. Well, you call him Ghidorah, I call him Ghidorah, but we've talked.
We've gone through that.
Yeah,
It's-
well,
Callum's supremely Japanese oriented.
I am
so
not. I'm
he's
just
gonna-
trying to
No,
pronounce
but-
it.
he's
No,
a
but
he's
you're
a resident
gonna-
weeb.
That's
You're
a lie.
our resident
That's an
weeb.
absolute lie.
Give us some Japanese right now. Go on.
Absolutely not.
Well, we
That's
know
not
you
how-
do
There-
speak
there
a
we go,
little
yeah.
bit, so.
No, but like King Ghidorah, there's a shot of him like these jets going into this like smoke cloud.
Yes.
And he
Oh,
like
and then
appears in it. Looks
It's the
gorgeous.
shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Incredible.
so cool.
And there's one of like, it's like a blue kind of like haze over like
Yeah.
I think Godzilla's walking through it. Oh
Yeah.
man, it looks so good.
Yeah.
that's like
Is
one of the things I'm
Godzilla going to be
excited.
the good guy in this
yes,
one though? Like,
that is the idea.
That's what they're implying in the
It-
trailer.
yeah.
Yeah.
It seems from the trailers. I think what's going to happen is King Ghidorah is going to be the big bad. And
of
then
course, doesn't he like
Mo-
shoot like magma from his throat or some
he
shit
shoots
like that?
these weird lightning yellow
Oh,
beams from
right,
his
that's
three
what he does,
heads.
yeah.
I can't remember what they're called. But I
Sunlight,
imagine.
yellow
I
overdrive.
thought it was
think.
like I thought it was like each head does a different thing. I thought.
No, I think the heads are independent. I don't remember the lore of fucking King
I don't know.
Ghidorah.
I read
Well,
something like that, but
yeah.
Do you know,
I
I'm
was gonna be
shocked that you don't remember that.
I know. Well, it's
I'm,
all
actually, I'm
confusing.
actually quite, yeah.
Well, yeah, because like it gets confusing. We're like sometimes he's in the future, and then there's Mecha King Ghidorah, and all that. It's weird. Godzilla's weird, but anyway,
And we all know
That's
that
one way
once
of
you go
doing
Mecha, that's it.
yeah, that was confusing. That movie had time travel, but like,
Mecha Freezer.
jeez.
Oh, there's the ball.
But yeah, it looks like what's gonna happen is like Mothra and Rodan are probably gonna fight Ghidorah first, and get absolutely fucked up, and then Godzilla's gonna be like, right, fuck's sake, I've got to sort this shit out, haven't I? And
You swore like 4 times in
I
a
know.
sentence there. That was quite filthy.
it's just
You got Tourette's.
how
Do you know what?
This
My
podcast,
dad
like.
actually listened to this, the first episode we did, and he was like, do you know what? You swear a lot in uni now. And I was like, I'm sorry, Dad, honestly.
Nah, I keep a clean mouth. I do.
That's a lie.
yeah, that's
Keep-
the biggest
keep-
lie you've
keeping a
told
clean
so
mouth,
far.
innit?
You're a dirty boy.
That's why you have a sore throat, because you can't fucking
Ah,
end it.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Oof.
Right.
Matt, what film are you
Yeah.
looking forward to?
Right,
Or films, shall I
this
say.
episode is going to be really sad for me. I'm excited for
Okay.
Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
Not gonna lie.
I was
The new
waiting for
trailer
someone
came
to-
out
The
the
new
other day,
trailer came out
so-
the other day.
yeah.
It looks fantastic. Since I was little, I've been thinking, oh, I'd really want a live action like Pokemon
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
I'm now 20, and I have never been so excited for a film in my life.
Jeez.
Do you know, for me personally though, the only thing that's like kind of drawn me away from it is I really wish it was Danny DeVito.
Imagine.
I imagine like it'd be no, but like even like jokes. Well, no, I actually think it would have been funny with Danny DeVito, but
Yeah.
I don't
Probably,
think
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds was a great choice personally.
I think it's great.
I just feel like when you're watching him, I'm like, this is just PG Deadpool. Do you know what I mean? Like the way he's doing Pikachu, just for me, just doesn't feel like.
Okay.
That's the vibe I'm getting. Maybe the film will be
Do
different.
you know what? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I read somewhere that the age like restriction on it. I'm pretty sure like he's allowed to swear once.
On yeah, no, it
That's
would
the
because it's probably a 12.
I think no, I think
Yeah.
it's a PG-13.
well,
yeah,
the-
which is a 12. In
there's the
UK.
bit-
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, yeah.
essentially?
Yeah,
it's a
Oh,
12 in the
that's
UK.
fine.
Well,
Then.
there's-
Right, it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, he's allowed to say fuck at least once.
Imagine.
He's
well,
allowed to.
there's the bit in the trailer, like, it's not really much of a swear, but you hear Pikachu say, "Get me the hell out of here," which for
That's not a swear.
yeah, but for Pikachu to be saying that, it's a bit like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, comparing it to the dreadful film that we spoke about last week,
I've
you
already
know,
forgotten.
I've already.
what.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Uh,
Pokemon I Choose You.
that's the one.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
Ooh,
that was
I
that
forgot
was a
about
bit
that.
shocking.
Ah, that's
I mean,
why. Yeah, because when I got back, I just drilled into my head, so I wouldn't remember that.
Oh,
part.
right.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
of course, yeah. No, but I'm actually super excited for this because, like,
Yeah.
like, supposedly they were hinting that this new city in the film is going to be in the new game that's coming out.
Right.
Really?
And I was like,
wouldn't-
I don't
I
think
don't
it will
think
be. I
so.
think this is
No.
its own thing.
It
Just
seems
just
that way.
because there is reference to the regions that already exist.
Yes, they've
There's
definitely
a
done their
crap
research.
ton.
It
And-
looks
yeah.
like a lot of effort.
and the
has
thing
gone
is,
in.
as well, it's like set in England, and there's not a single Greg's in that trailer.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
that-
proper
yeah.
annoyed. But
Definitely not. You know.
enough about Sword and Shield because I'm actually going to talk about that in a bit
Oh,
as well.
dear.
Because
okay.
spoilers. Spoil
Oof,
the rest of the
spoiler alert.
podcast. Be
Well,
honest.
it is.
slap a spoiler alert on that one. Yeah, but no, I think Ryan Reynolds is actually quite a good casting choice.
Okay.
Personally,
Yeah, I like him. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm gonna reserve myself for the film because I feel like if
Oh,
I
yeah.
watch the film, I might be like, oh hey,
But-
actually, it was really good. But
for me, this is the first time in about maybe 10 years that I've watched a trailer and I've actually got tingles.
Wow.
really,
Seriously,
Wow.
it's just like everything I imagined as a kid is now real in this film.
yeah.
And people are interacting with these like animals, and I'm like, well, I never got to do that, and like the only way I'll ever
Well,
get
yeah.
to do that is
Yeah.
VR.
Yeah, fair
fair.
play.
And there's nothing to do with VR happening right now. There's AR,
There's
with-
Pokemon Go
Yeah.
to the polls.
go
Oh,
to the polls and
Jesus
all that, which was a fun game at first, but like unless they mess about with VR, that game's not. Pokemon's got on a decline sales wise for ages. They banked like
I think that was mostly due to them. I mean, me and Callum were discussing this before. Like we were saying how they have a formula that they haven't changed for like
Yeah.
that's what I'm
20 years.
saying.
I mean,
They
fair
need-
play, it works
That's
for them.
exactly what I'm saying. They need to change it up a bit.
But that's the thing though. Like they did in
Yeah.
Sun and Moon, and that really didn't pay off for them. I feel like Pokemon is the one thing where even though it's the same formula each time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Like
Ironically, I'm writing a symposium paper on this. That's
Right.
exactly the title I have.
Really?
Oh, okay.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's literally what I called it.
yeah.
Nice.
And I agree, don't change it. But I feel like making it an open world game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
With VR would actually just make it more interesting.
There's ways
There'd
of
be
like
more to see.
yeah, there's ways of without literally changing it is
Yeah.
just expanding it,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
what I'm
where
saying,
which is what Sun and Moon didn't do because it's like they're
And
like,
Let's,
oh yeah,
Let's Go made the same mistake as well. But
yeah,
let's move on from that real quick because we'll talk about that later.
oh
But
yeah.
funny story. Like my girlfriend Sal, hey Sal, was out in Hertfordshire the other week, and she was working on a set for a show called Harlot,
Right.
and it's a Hulu show, and it's on
Okay.
Amazon Prime
Oh,
as
okay.
well. So it's work experience. She loved it, and she was saying that one of the actors was sat there on his phone watching the trailer that had just come out over and over again all day on his break,
Wow.
just non-stop,
great.
and everyone was just sat there like, what a fucking loser. And I'm like,
Nah.
that guy's a hero.
Yeah.
He has taste. He knows what he's doing.
He's studying it. He wants
Yeah.
to be Detective Pikachu.
Oh, he'll be the next
Yeah.
protagonist, I'm telling you.
He could be like Detective Squirtle or something.
He himself is a
Poke-
detective.
Detective Squirtle.
Oh no, what were they called? The Squirtle? Was it the Squirtle?
Squirtle
Squirtle
Squad.
Squad.
Squirtle
Yeah.
Squad.
Glasses.
Ah man, with the glasses.
Oh
yeah.
god.
No, but yeah.
What a bunch of legends.
What about you, Sam?
Film? I mean, the obvious one for me is Avengers Endgame.
Of course,
yeah, I was trying to
Like-
deflect away from saying that, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
like that's the thing. I can't. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that film. Like,
Fair enough.
it's
it's an obvious pick. Innit?
yeah. I mean, I'm as you know, I'm like huge on Marvel. I've
Yeah.
grew up
Mhm.
with the comics, the games, the films,
Yeah.
and it's like this is a culmination of like 10 years now, and it looks phenomenal. I really like what they're doing with the marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
showing the first 15 minutes
That's
and
great.
nothing else, because like that's the thing, is that you always get, not so much with like with Infinity War, you had it where they were like, they put Hulk in the Wakanda fight,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
to kind of trick
yeah.
people into going, oh yeah, this is how the story's gonna go, and then it gets a complete flip. But it's like in these days, trailers, you get so many trailers that by the time the film comes out, you've got like,
You've seen it all.
yeah, you've got TV spots, you got teasers, you got 4 trailers, you got a launch trailer, you got like, all this stuff, all this promo material, that it's like you can borderline piece the film together.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, How to Train Your Dragon, I went to see it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
There's bits in the trailer that flat out, like, minor spoilers here, but literally spoil the ending.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm going to be very vague just in case you guys haven't seen it, or if you plan on seeing it, or if someone listening hasn't seen it. But there's a bit in the trailer which, when I was watching the film, I was like, okay, it's not at the start, so it's clearly going to be at the end.
Right.
And I was like, it is. And I was like, wow, I can't believe they put that in the trailer, which
Yeah.
is kind of
I
weird.
mean, that's an issue with most trailers these days.
Oh,
now,
100%.
isn't it?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's literally an issue I was thinking of, is like another film I am excited about is this film called Yesterday.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
The
Danny
Beatles
Boyle. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks really good.
The one with the bloke who plays Tamwar in EastEnders in the star role. Yeah, I was like,
To be fair, Danny Boyle
from
usually
somewhere.
does that, though, doesn't he? He usually takes, like...
Take like random like
Yeah.
soap actors from the UK, which is a good thing, really.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
he's sticking this bloke in
Yeah.
like, this is a big role for him.
Yeah.
But like, I watched the trailer the first time around and I thought, wow, this is pretty much the entire story in the trailer.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
what you mean, yeah.
But I'm still excited for it. But like,
Yeah.
it's sort of that same idea. Like, what Marvel is so great at doing is that, like, they can tease quite a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but then there's always like enough for them to like smack you in the back of the head, be like, "Hi,
Yeah.
didn't see that
Yeah,
coming."
like the
they
thing
do
is,
every
as well,
time.
is that I argue is that, okay, I mean, you think about it, right? In Endgame is out next month,
It is, yeah.
and you think about it, we've had 2 trailers,
Mhm.
no posters, we've had 1 poster with just the A,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no promotional material, no one talking about it or anything like that. And some people would be like, oh yeah, because Captain Marvel's out Friday, and I'm like, no, I don't think they don't
Yeah,
need
but they've,
to.
they've
They don't
done
need
nothing
to.
for Captain Marvel either.
No, I don't know about that.
They've done 2 trailers and I think 2 spots
They've
that
done
haven't revealed much.
no, but they've done a few trailers at this point, Mike.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 or 3 they've done.
No, they've
But,
done
like,
quite a few at this
you
point.
sure?
Yeah, 100%. I've seen, like, in the cinema alone, I've seen like at least 4 different trailers.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay. I've only
But
seen like 2.
I mean, not as much as usual. I will
No.
like. It's true that but what I mean is, like, Endgame is, you say, like, it needs no introduction. That's literally
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You don't. They can literally bank on its success purely because it's Avengers Endgame. It's the, like, Infinity War was the quote unquote big finale. This is
Yeah.
the finale to the big finale. You
in
could
a
literally
way, Infinity War was the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. It's like, if you went to see Infinity War, realistically, are you not going to go see Endgame? They could literally just turn around and go, "Oh, Endgame's out tomorrow, guys." People would run. I'd be on my phone now booking it.
Yeah.
The box office isn't even out yet, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for that. There's a few films this year as well. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Like, I'm shocked they're coming out this year. So, like, Zombieland 2 is meant to be coming out this year.
Yeah.
I was shocked that was a
I was
thing
watching
at all.
Zombieland earlier,
Yeah,
actually.
great
yeah.
film.
Brilliant.
But I'm
Amazing.
just like, it's out in October this year, which
Yeah.
means, wow, that's like 6 months away-ish.
I mean, yeah.
you
You've
know,
seen nothing yet.
there's no trailers. I don't think they filmed it. There's no set photos. There's nothing. And I'm like, okay.
Does it
you can-
exist?
Exactly.
Is it,
like,
Yeah.
is it real? I saw that the Scooby-Doo film got pushed back as well another year.
Yeah.
yeah, what's
I was-
happening with that?
they've completely so you know they've done the first two with like Matthew Lillard and all
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and Freddie Prinze and all that,
Yeah.
and then they made the 2 or 3 spin-offy films that
they're
weren't
like
released
made
to
for
the cinema.
TV ones.
TV ones.
They were
Those
okay.
they were
Yeah, I
okay, but
enjoyed them.
they aren't the actual Scooby-Doo films Warner Brothers have said.
Okay.
Right.
This
okay.
new one that's coming out is the 3rd installment of the franchise.
Oh.
These 2 and then the Daphne and Velma film
Oh, yeah,
don't mean
that.
shit.
Wait,
They
hang on,
don't
so-
mean anything.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, I was reading about this because it's
They-
Matthew Lillard or something.
Yeah.
isn't
He
it?
plays
they-
Shaggy, but it's not him now, is it?
Yeah.
They've sacked him.
Yeah,
no.
without
Found
telling him,
out
was-
through
yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
That is mental.
That's-
They've complete.
yeah.
I hope they because he like
I've seen who they've recast.
is it?
It's I can't remember his name. I'll get
I'm
his name up in
shocked
a
at
minute.
that. I didn't
So
know
wait,
it
is
was a like
Yeah.
sequel.
But
though.
is it just him? Is everyone being recast? I've not-
Everyone has
okay.
been recast.
Well,
So
what's-
why call it a third one?
Yeah, why not just call it a reboot?
I mean, it's Scooby-Doo. It's a franchise. You can just make a new Scooby-Doo film.
Yeah.
Well, no, you easily could, yeah, but like, I feel like the main issue is that because Matthew Lillard is Scooby now. He's been he's done the voice for the cartoons for like what,
Has
like
he?
over,
Has he?
over 10 years.
I didn't know he did that.
Since
I didn't-
2009, he has been the voice of Shaggy.
Wow.
Fun fact.
I
yeah.
did not know that.
He took over in 2009 because I don't remember his name. Who's the original guy?
I can't remember the original-
Casey something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he retired in 2009,
Right.
and Matthew Lillard has been doing the voice since.
Oh wow.
Nice.
And because he is such a huge part of Scooby-Doo now, he is the voice of Shaggy. He's the
Yeah.
most memorable live-action version, and he
Yeah.
wasn't
I-
that bad.
I get
in my
that.
opinion.
Like, yeah, I get that.
But then
he's
to be-
aged and whatever.
Oh yeah. But to then be like kicked like to the dirt like that,
I think
they
that-
haven't even told him he's
I
been
just-
sacked.
I
like,
just don't get though. Like the thing I don't understand. So, like we were saying, he obviously aged. But if they're going for a third film, surely people would have expected the
an
cast
old-
to age.
No. But the guy is older. I
Ah, well, I
think.
don't get
Wow.
that, man.
Okay.
I'm getting the name up now.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, so Matthew Lillard was tweeted like, he said something like, "How do
did
you
see
know
that,
a meme is
yeah.
dead? Oh, get recast." And then it was like, oh, but he thanked people for being very supportive
Oh,
because
that's nice.
the fans were always like, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter because you're our Shaggy and it doesn't mean
Like,
shit
yeah.
whatever they do."
That's the thing, because like I know people kind of. I mean, I haven't rewatched them in a while, but
No,
I
but, like-
I have like fond memories of those films.
Okay.
Will Fort, that's who it is.
Right. Okay.
I'm not sure I recognize
familiar with
him.
him.
I'll get a picture up for you in a minute. We'll be able
Okay.
to stick that in post.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
But yeah, like the entire cast's been recast, and it's sort of like why?
I'm waiting for that to be a reboot. There's no way that's
that
gonna
guy,
be a sequel.
you probably recognize him, but
Okay.
What?
he's been in a few crappy like B movie films with like like some of
Oh,
like Adam
wait.
Sandler's crap films.
Oh.
Yeah.
And like some
majority.
films, the majority, yeah, and
Yeah.
a few with like Andy Samberg and stuff. Like,
Okay.
But like like Andy Samberg's great, but
Yeah.
yeah, and it's quite bad because like this guy's older too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this guy's in his 40s,
That makes no sense.
and I'm
man.
like, well, why not just
Why not just
stick to your guns? Like stick
Yeah.
to the guys, like
Yeah.
Velma's Velma.
yeah.
Like Sarah Michelle Gellar is pretty much the Daphne everybody knows now
Yeah.
as well. Like
Yeah.
she was quite good. Like that's a bit
And
annoying,
like
isn't it?
Danny DeVito as Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
That's
well.
iconic. I mean, speaking of Danny DeVito, I'm a weird one that I never thought I would say this in
I know what
public,
you're gonna
but
say.
Jumanji 2.
Yeah.
Right. I had
I knew you
no
were
interest
gonna
in
say
that
that.
film whatsoever.
No, I know.
I thought it looked terrible, and I was like, nah, looks awful. Doesn't look like Jumanji. Looks generic.
Yeah.
Boring. Get away from me.
Mhm.
Reviews came out and everyone was like, oh my god, it's amazing. It's the best film ever. And I was like, nope, still not buying it. And I remember it was in the cinema for ages. It was in the cinema for like 4 months. And they were like, oh, it's your last chance to see it. And I was like, nope, not going to go see it. And it made like 2 billion or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, not interested. I was on a plane back from Florida in September, and I was like, it was like 2 a.m. so everyone was sleeping, and I was
Mhm.
like, I can't sleep. And I was just scrolling through the films, and it was like Jumanji, and I was like, fine, I'll watch it. I mean, I don't know why that was my. No one.
Yeah.
The air hostess didn't come up to me and she was like, "You better watch that shit, man. I'm watching you." No, so
Holding
it's
a
just like,
tray of like
yeah,
frozen chicken. Like, oh, you better watch this while I go and
force
fucking
feeding me the chicken. Like,
thaw this out.
I'll be back in
I'll be
5
back in
minutes.
5 minutes.
If I don't see Dwayne the Rock Johnson on your screen, we're gonna have some trouble. But no, I watched it and I was literally like waking people up because I was laughing. and I was like, this film is great, man.
Nice.
Like, it's not gonna win any Oscars, and it's not like but I don't know, there's something about
It's
it.
the same thing about the first original Jumanji.
Yeah.
It was
No, but like the first
Great
original, I
film.
think
Oh,
has
yeah.
something. Yeah, has something about it. I can't quite put. I guess
Yeah.
it's nostalgia. I guess.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But like, I don't know. Just say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a really fun film. And then like they've cast Danny DeVito in the sequel, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, like
you
So-
could not have chosen more perfect.
yeah. Just like not to go off on a tangent about Jumanji, but out of curiosity, did either of you used to watch the Jumanji animated series?
I
no,
was not
I was
aware there was
I
a
was
Ja-
aware of it existing,
Oh,
but
okay.
I never.
I'm
watched
gonna
it.
check this out.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
I used to
What?
think it was based on the film, but from what I understand, the film is based on the series.
Wait,
What?
It's from like the early 90s. I've basically seen the whole series like when I was a kid. It was really good. It's the same
Course you did,
characters. Like,
Grandad.
look.
That looks awful, man.
No. It was really good. I swear to God. So like,
Oh my!
it was the same kids. Like,
Is that who?
terrible.
it was the same kids and like Alan, Robin Williams'
Is that
characters
is
in
that
it.
who Robin Williams is meant to look like?
Yes.
Looks like a really bad Thornbreeze.
Look, I'm not going to defend the animation here, but like, it was so the way it would work is
oh my god!
every-
the girl is clapped.
every episode the two kids would get sucked into the board with Alan, who was trapped in the board, and they would have to solve a different riddle in the jungle, and like they really expand on like how he got caught in there, how they get him out, and it does basically imagine the film but really like fleshed out into a series.
Just to say, apparently, the film came before.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay.
I don't
can-
know because
See,
I'm
that's
getting
what I
two
would have
different things.
thought.
I
here.
really doubt that they
Yeah,
planned on
the-
making Robin Williams look like this guy.
I was gonna say like
because
I'm
it looks
looking
like
at
they've
the-
drawn the girl to look like whoever it was who played.
Kirsten Dunst.
just
Was
on
it?
how
Yeah.
trash this
She's
animation
quite
looks.
young in that, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
See, I always imagined her as a redhead.
Yeah,
Naturally.
same.
Like, we all know why, but
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Ah, there we go. It was inspired by the movie that
Oh.
was based on the short story.
Oh, so there was a short story.
Oh,
Okay.
Tell you what, there's a few series like that though. Like, do you ever see Evolution?
Yes.
Right.
Is that the other one with what's his name? David Duchovny? I can't remember. Pronounce it, from X Files.
X Files. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I've never watched the film, but as a kid I used to watch
okay.
the animated series.
I didn't know there was
Oh,
one.
I
Yeah.
I've
didn't
only
know
seen the
there was
film.
So that's what I mean. Like, so
Yeah.
I always thought that the animated series came first,
Yeah.
and that it was based on that.
Yeah.
And then like I never watched the film because I found it really boring,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, this is nothing like the show, man.
yeah.
And like to be fair, the show was like nothing like the film. They had like these powers and shit
Yeah.
like that.
is it that one?
That's the one, yeah.
Wow.
My God, that yeah.
That
just
looks
for Callum
do you know what I mean?
to review That's,
Yeah.
that's a bit
Good
shocking.
lord.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
that's
very
that's
different.
my. I always thought that came first, but then I was
What
like,
yeah.
oh,
is
this
what is this yellow glob thing?
Well,
It used to have a really cool theme song as well.
Oh. Yeah, because see, like I was saying to you before, like when I was a kid, I would watch the Real Ghostbusters, the 80s show.
Love
Like
that
they
show.
would
Right,
like
yeah.
re-air it a lot
Yeah.
on I don't know what channel. But then I saw there was a Ghostbusters film, and I didn't want to watch it. I was like, why would I want to watch a live action Ghostbusters movie? It's
Yeah.
a cartoon, isn't it?
It's
I did
weird,
not
innit?
know the film came first.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love the film now.
Oh yeah, God.
Let the record show.
Definitely,
you know.
Do you know what? I've mentioned this already. Sal, she's watched Ghostbusters like 60 times. She could not name a single character.
What?
That's
Oh man,
dreadful.
She has
Ghost-
issues.
all I have is like Ghostbusters quotes in my head.
Same.
Like,
Always.
Yeah.
It's just all my references are Ghostbusters.
Always.
Like I mentioned Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd in a conversation, and she was like, "Who are they?" It's like, "Are you mad? You've
That's
said that
terrible.
you've watched Ghostbusters like 60 times."
It's Dr.
Yeah.
Peter Venkman and Ray Stantz, isn't it?
Exactly.
You gotta know. Do the knowledge.
Like, do the knowledge.
She doesn't have the tools. She doesn't have the talent.
Doesn't have the time.
That was awful. I can't believe we just said that.
No, as I started
Wow.
saying, I was like, this is a terrible reference.
Right.
But
Getting
it's a
back on
reference.
track anyway.
Yeah. After
That's
that,
a JoJo reference.
Was that a JoJo reference?
Ugh.
I mean, going off, well, I guess using that as a bridge, well, Evolution and Ghostbusters, TV shows, anything.
Oof, what a segue.
I mean, I feel
What a
like
segue.
I'm gonna predict it now, just before we say. I'm guaranteed that we all have the same TV show in mind.
probably, or at least two of us do.
Right.
I'm
Just
just
go
drawing a
around.
blank, but if you say it, I'm probably gonna go, "Oh
Okay.
yeah."
You don't say it if you didn't think it,
Okay.
but let's just say what it is first, and then
Okay.
we'll go. Callum, what's yours?
Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, mine's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay, no, yeah, mine's Game of Thrones, but
There we go.
also
Okay.
it's still going on, The Walking Dead, because it is
Oh, okay.
season 9 is amazing. I don't care what
Nah,
people think.
like I
Have you
am.
caught up?
No, I'm pretty.
Then
far
I'm not
behind.
going to say anything. I'm not
Okay.
going to say anything.
I've heard mixed things. I just
Mhm.
feel like the problem with that show at the moment is that everyone's leaving. Like
Honestly, I'm not complaining.
I don't know, man.
One or two decisions I'm against, but second half of season 9 on par with season 3 and 4 in my opinion.
Fair play.
Mm, so
It's
far.
frustrating because the writing, they've got a new showrunner and she's amazing.
She's great. I
She's
give her that.
literally
She's fixed the show.
yeah,
a bit.
yeah. She's literally like brought the show back from ruin. But it's just a shame because it's too little, too late.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that okay, like you're still enjoying it. I probably will when I catch up.
It could have been on par with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Maybe had she come
Really?
sooner.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
100%.
Had she
I'm-
come sooner, definitely.
It used to be a powerhouse, man.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you know
like,
in like
It
season
and Game of Thrones
4.
were running side by side in
Yeah.
quality at one point.
Season 4, like the ratings, the reviews, the acting, everything about it was fantastic.
Fantastic.
After 4, it just declined.
Yeah.
Everything started dropping off
Season
the board.
7 was sort of this like bridge between it's shit and it might get better,
Yeah.
and it luckily it did get better. Season 8 wasn't amazing, but it sort of set up season 9
so,
really
yeah.
nicely.
The problem I always had with it is it was such like Game of Thrones for me is like this absolute titan of quality.
Uh-huh.
Like I cannot name you a bad episode of Game of Thrones.
I
No.
can't.
In my
go on.
opinion, you can you?
I can
First
I can name
season
a
was
bad
bit
season.
slow for me.
And these if you get, I
Season
feel like
5.
really
Adventures in Dawn, where fuck all happened. Yeah, that was
yeah,
fun.
but it's just intriguing.
No,
Like,
no,
I
I
completely
I
disagree.
get how that can be a bit annoying, but like first for me, season 1 was a bit too slow.
Okay.
Nah.
But every show is
Well,
slow at first
Yeah,
until it kicks
I
off,
get
so I
that.
can't really use that against it.
I disagree with you both because
Okay.
I'm gonna I can see why you think that,
I
but for
appreciate-
me is like I think it's such an interesting like even when there's not really much happening, it's just
Mhm.
talking.
Yeah.
It's not like Walking Dead where it's like Walking Dead does episodes where it's just talking and they're talking nonsense.
Mm.
Right.
Like I specifically remember this point where I thought, wow, this series has gone downhill. So one thing I used to love about it was they used to have these big like monologues and they'd have like metaphors for things. Like there was one where the governor was using a chessboard and they were like, oh, what happens when all your pawns get like defeated? Does that mean you lose? And he's like, no, not quite. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's like because he was like out of the fight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then this is the part. So I will always remember this. It was an episode with Carol and Daryl, and they were in this city. And first of all, like stuff was happening that was completely beyond logic. Like they were in a
Yeah.
truck that falls off a bridge backwards, smashes into like a herd of walkers, and they
Yeah.
just climb
Mhm.
out the back as if nothing's happened.
Yeah. Would have
But-
killed them.
Oh,
not gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah.
Quite
That's
a
what I mean.
tall bridge.
Yeah, yeah. And it like
It was
lands
like an
face up
overpass,
as well.
wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a proper overpass.
But Carol turns to Daryl and says, how did the world turn, like, how did the world get this way, or something like that? And Daryl turns to Carol and goes, it just did.
Yeah.
And that's an actual line from
Yeah.
the show.
Good talk in there,
And,
lads.
yeah, and it was that point where I thought, you know, if this was season 2, we'd have had a really good philosophical moment where Daryl reflects on, like, his former life and his new life, and how, like, hey, the apocalypse might be bad, but, you know, my life was shit anyway.
Yeah.
But instead, they were just like, oh, we gotta have some time where they flip a truck off a bridge.
Although
It just did.
that what season that was like season 6 or 7.
I think it was, I don't know,
Around
like 5,
then.
6, or 7. I don't know.
Around the same time, I'm pretty sure it came afterwards. They did release a episode where they were like looking for someone and killing off people, and then they were trapped somewhere, and Rick says something like, "Oh, we're the Walking Dead now," and it was at the
You
end
are
of a
kidding
really
me.
long speech.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a good speech, and then he sort of closed that off with that, and I was like,
Wow.
and
you
then
know what that
Daryl
is,
just
though?
bumps in and goes, "No, they are," and I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
"Are you kidding me?"
Do you know what the thing is,
that
though,
was
right?
quite a good speech to recover
That's- yeah.
everything you've done.
So the thing is, that's a reference to the comics.
Yeah,
Because there's a big, like, one of the last scenes is, like, Rick goes on this big speech because it's about how they're actually infected.
yeah,
So, like, they're all infected, and if they
yeah.
die,
That's what.
yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So in
obviously,
the
doesn't it?
comics, it's this big epic moment because that's the plot twist: is you find out everyone's infected, and then it's
Yeah.
like this big 2-page pullout of just Rick's face. He's like, "We are the Walking Dead," and then
Yeah.
it ends, and you're like, "Holy shit, that was good." And they tried doing it in the show.
halfway
Yeah.
through the episode, midway through a season,
Great.
and
And
Daryl
it's at
just
the
goes,
wrong
"No,
point
they
as
are."
well.
And I'm like, are you mad?
And I'm like, Daryl, he didn't literally mean
like
he means it more in the sense that they're all gonna die and they're all like infected. And he's like, no, they're the zombies.
They're the zombies. And I'm like, oh, really? Norman Reedus
get...
was so amazing in the first 4 seasons, and then he's
such
just
good character development.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And then he just went blank for like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
He's back now.
I don't know.
Daryl is sort of like the main man.
Like that's the thing for me is like Game of Thrones in terms of like quality. I know you disagree, but I feel like it has such a like good track record. It knows when to quit.
No,
that's
I
another
get
thing
that,
it gets over Walking Dead.
Thing is, one thing I do appreciate about the whole trekking around Dawn thing is the world building.
Okay,
yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what makes it different from The Walking Dead. Is like in The Walking Dead they can drive around for literally 3 hours to go to one place, and I'm like, but this place isn't recognizable. You never go here again, and and then this happens several times when they're in this sort of like same camp for like 3 seasons, and I'm like, how many directions must you have gone in to drive 3 hours and not ended up in the same place
and it's
again
like
somehow?
sometimes some episodes they'll be driving on the road for like 3 hours. Another episode it's like, oh no, the camp's in trouble, and then they just like instantly teleport
they're in 20 minutes, and I'm like, how?
And it's like Rick learned instant transmission on a different planet. Like, but like Game of Thrones for me is just. Did you guys see the trailer for the new season? Again, going back to this idea of like Endgame, it's like you don't need to show anything. Yeah, the amount of cuts and like trickery in that trailer I thought was fantastic. It showed enough to get me hyped, but it didn't show so much that I'm like, oh no, I know how it's gonna end. And like the end, that end tease where you just see the hoof. I was like, shit's gonna be insane.
I was kind of waiting for a noise from the spoiler alert. Zombie dragon.
Speed dragon.
Jesus. But yeah, I am excited for it, and it was a good trailer. I think, especially with season 7, Game of Thrones has sort of got to a point now where at the beginning it was very much about the conversation and the world building and the political elements as well. Yeah. In fact, if you think about it, you don't see a lot of battles early on.
No.
Like, there's the big one where like Tyrion is knocked out and you miss it, but you hear about it.
Well, it was weird for me because I read the book before I did.
Right, okay.
The another one where they, it's in season 1 where it's not actually in season 1, but there's a big battle in the book between Robb Stark and Tywin Lannister. Right, it might be Lannister.
Was that in the first?
So
I remember, because I've read the first book as well.
So it's in the first book. It goes on for about 30 pages describing this battle in like phenomenal detail now. And I was like, when I was watching the show, then I was like saying to my sister, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be so good. And then it just skips ahead to like all the wounded. And I was like, did they just skip a battle? But then you look at it now, and they've hinted that there's going to be an episode
where it's
just one battle.
Yeah,
they said it's the biggest battle ever filmed in anything ever.
Yeah, which like it does sound cool. I am excited, but like I think that is the thing where like Game of Thrones again, especially you can see with season 7, it's almost sort of become more indulgent in the generic fantasy it was initially a satire of, which I don't mind. Like I do enjoy it, but I think the show has shifted, especially since they've run out of book material.
I understand like what you mean.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I think there is a shift, but I am still excited.
Yeah, 100%. I do agree, and you can see that when they were focused more on the books that they were just adapting them. Yeah, they were more about that story. But I feel like it was always gonna come to this. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, the thing is with finales, right, is you always want to see a big battle. You know what I mean? You always want to, you know, if it's like good and evil, you want to see it come to a close. I feel like if it was like season 9 and they were like, oh, it's time for a bit of political discussions, I feel like people would just be like, it's time to end. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I mean,
I get because I know a few people saw last season as like, a lot of people said it was trash, which I completely disagree.
I enjoyed last season a lot.
The thing is, right, is people complained. Yeah, because people complained when it was slow. They were like, they said, well, you don't need to show them literally walking everywhere. Yeah. We can get that. And I was like, I think
season 7 had the most happen in each episode.
Probably,
well, that's the thing, because they said, like, look, we're getting to the end. We're not going to drag it out because realistically, they had enough
could.
material to do another 3-4 seasons.
Probably,
I'd say.
yeah.
Could do, yeah.
But they were just like, we're not going to milk it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. We
Like
basically
there's
what
a
they
whole
took out.
family and their arc and how
Yeah.
they link into the entire story that haven't even been announced or
Yeah.
shown in
Yeah.
the show at all.
Yeah. So it's like, but like even season 7, it's like all they've done basically is take out the walking and the traveling,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh, everything's moving too fast," and I'm like, "You complained when it was moving too slow.
Yeah.
Now you're complaining that it's moving too fast. Like, what kind of pace do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?" But yeah,
Can't
no, I
ha-
do
you
agree that
can't-
it is kind of
You
going
can't just
that
have
direction.
like some middle ground.
No,
yeah.
you can't.
Because
though.
then the show's just gonna drag.
I mean, there's got to be this big climactic battle because literally since the first season, that's what we've been building
That's what I mean.
to.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's slowly been coming together all these years, these different families.
Yeah.
And we know from the beginning about the White Walkers.
Yeah.
This is the
And they've
culmination
slowly
of all
become
of
like
that.
a bigger threat.
Yeah,
There's-
absolutely.
You know, and everything's come together. You know, the Starks are back together. You got Daenerys has finally come over.
Yeah.
The White Walkers have broken through the wall now, which, you know, obviously we've been anticipating since the beginning.
Yeah.
The Lannisters, you know, Cersei's sitting on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has reached its like climax. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like there are a few loose ends that I'm worried they're not going to tie up.
Right.
One of the like minor ones that I just personally want is I've always wanted. It's like become a meme, but it's like Clegane Bowl.
Oh,
You seen
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like a meme, but at the same time, I'm like, I do want that for the emotional payoff
Yeah.
because they hate each other,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm like, I really want as well him to meet back up with Arya.
That'd be good.
I think that'd be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like they're gonna do it. I feel like they won't leave anything unanswered.
No, yeah.
And obviously they've already planned like spin-offs and
One
shit,
thing
so-
I am happy about,
Yeah.
it looks like Tormund's still alive.
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh,
though,
yeah.
you
I
know?
was so worried
Really?
when that wall came down. It looked like the
Yeah.
entire thing just,
like
you know.
I was.
I knew he was escaping,
yeah.
but I couldn't tell if the entire thing had collapsed by the time.
I
he
no.
had reached
I
a
was
certain
kind of like
point,
there was.
I
a
was actually worried because he's one of my favorite characters at the
He's
minute.
great. But like no,
He's
I was
just
kind of
fun.
like sitting there. I was like, no, they wouldn't do it. Like they wouldn't do him dirty like that, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Because like my logic with Game of Thrones is if they don't get this throat slit in front of you, they're not dead.
Yeah.
You know the amount of
Fair.
people that have like come back. And one thing I thought they haven't done is like Lady Stoneheart. If you know about her from the books.
Oh yeah.
I don't actually
uh,
know.
it's
Catelyn
yeah, it's
Stark?
Catelyn Stark. Like
Oh.
reanimated basically.
Oh, okay.
Which-
wow.
but
they-
it's terrifying. Like
Oh.
Yeah, it's like
it's like
really
this sort of
messed
like
up.
zombie kind of like she has a throat cut.
Yeah.
Jeez.
She sort of like goes about like getting revenge.
Yeah,
Right.
she's
it's
like
kind of weird.
She kills like basically everyone in the Red Wedding. I think it's basically Arya. I mean, I don't want Game of Thrones elitists to attack me because
Yeah.
I haven't read all the books.
Okay.
But from what I remember, you know, like Arya's storyline now, where she's basically going around
killing
everyone in
the
the
Red
off of the
Wedding.
list. It's what she was
I'm
doing.
pretty sure it's what.
essentially.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
but they hint. It was really weird, right? Because in I think it was season 5, you know, I think it's Gwendolyn Christie who plays Brienne of Tarth.
Yes.
it is, yeah.
She posted a picture on Instagram of a stone heart.
Okay.
And everyone was like,
Okay.
"Oh shit, Lady Stoneheart's gonna be in this season," and then she wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why did you even post
I
that?"
think that might have been a really clever way of like throwing us off, though.
I don't
Dunno.
know, but like I don't
Or
see what it
might-
added.
Or again, it might have been like symbolism that like it is Arya's arc, because
Right.
Nah, I
yeah.
think I was early on though.
Brienne
mind.
does have that sort of moment with Arya where they have that little sword
Not
fight
that,
thing.
not
Yeah.
that long, like not
Oh,
that early on though.
That's
you know?
true. That's a
Because
good
Yeah.
one.
that was even before she went to
Winterfell.
no,
No.
what's the place? I can't remember. Is it?
Well, where Arya went to?
yeah,
or where-
yeah.
Oh, the.
Valyria? Was it Valyria? No, it wasn't.
It's
Valyria.
where the Iron Bank is.
Yeah.
I know which one. I know which
Yeah.
one you mean.
I
We're
can't
gonna
think. My mind's gone
throw a
blank.
map.
whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
That
there.
that got all placed with the faceless
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I think they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
They probably will.
They probably will.
Well, they're not gonna just forgive her. They're not gonna be
Do
like.
you know what? Like the bit that makes me think about that most is in the trailer when Arya says, "I've faced death,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm sort of thinking there has to be something to do with the faceless.
I
men
like
and
that,
stuff.
and it's like death. Like she's like, "Oh, death has many faces, but
yeah,
nothing like this," or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "That's a really
Great.
cool way of looking
that was
at things."
so cool.
Yeah. Favorite character in Game of Thrones? Because
Uh,
I always like asking people this
okay.
because my one's like
Yeah,
quite
we've never really
controversial.
talked about this.
No.
mine's Jon Snow. I feel like that's generic.
Fair enough.
But
That is
I
yeah,
love
but
him.
it's
Yeah.
But you are like Goku's your favorite Dragon Ball character.
Yeah,
I
Like,
always
you always
tend
go
to-
for the like, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that, but Jon Snow's a great character.
Yeah.
Mine's Bronn actually.
Bronn, okay.
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
Bronn.
okay.
I've just always thought like you get that like typical like throwaway like funny like badass guy
Yeah,
who
yeah.
just kills everything and then somehow lives through
Yeah.
everything as well.
Yeah.
He's just a fun
He is.
character.
He is
Yes,
great.
he's funny and
He's
like,
extremely
yeah.
selfish.
Yeah.
Like he has no allegiance
But he has a good
to
heart,
anyone.
though.
He
Yeah,
does.
he
He
does.
does, which is why I appreciate him as a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He develops a lot more than
Oh,
people
100%.
think he
Yeah.
thinks he does.
Like, yeah. You know, like when he
But-
goes from just literally being like paid off by Tyrion to
Yeah, to
Like-
literally becoming his mate.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then like when he helps Jamie and shit.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. I agree. With that.
And yeah, I love him as a character. I do feel like he will die at some point in this new
That'd
season.
be a shame.
But I also
Which,
feel like
it really will be.
Yeah.
But I see it happening. Like
Okay.
the Game of Thrones are known for killing off fan favorites, and
Yeah.
Bronn
100%.
is a fan favorite for a lot of people that I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just going to be a big kick in the balls for some people.
Yeah.
But it's
There's-
what,
I
it's
feel like
what
there's gonna
they're
be
known for doing, though.
There's gonna be a
So,
lot of kicks in the balls this
Yeah.
season.
Like I
feel
see people like Brienne dying.
Yeah.
So
Tormund and
much
shit
Jamie,
like that.
maybe
Yeah.
Yeah.
all these characters. Like, but yeah.
Yeah. So what's yours, Sam?
Mine is Jamie Lannister.
No, well, that's
okay.
fair. No, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that's not
every time I
controversial
say
at
this,
all.
right, everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's such a prick," and
Yeah.
I'm like,
But like,
you don't,
yeah.
you don't get it, do you?
that's the thing. He's become now not much of a prick.
No.
But then, because I really like him too, but I'm conflicted because of his actions. It's like, well, that's how humans are.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
The thing is, right, this is I'm gonna put my massive defense of Jamie Lannister. here.
Okay.
Go on.
Season 1 to I bet halfway through season 2,
Yeah.
absolute asshole.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Undefended, like, and they
Completely.
completely portray him as
Understandable.
yeah, they completely
Definitely.
portray him as you don't know his backstory. All you know is that he's a prick to Ned
Yeah.
Stark.
I
he's
me's
the he's the pretty boy. He pushes a kid out a
He's
window.
Exactly,
literally
yeah.
Prince Charming. From
Yeah, no, he
Shrek.
is.
he
actually
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like he's just does everything everything you hate about a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you find out he's
Shags his sister,
yeah.
Am I right?
Joffrey's
Yeah.
father, which just
Yeah.
makes it even worse. You know, and there's
Uh-huh.
all these things, and you're just like massive prick. And then when he gets captured, you're like, yeah, have that. And it's the way I see it, right, is when he gets his hand cut off. Spoiler.
Yum.
I mean, at this point, we're
yeah, I was
deep
gonna
in
say,
the
that's like
spoiler. It's
season
too
2.
late now.
By
but,
who? Yoshikage Kira? Anyone?
Oh, great.
But like when he gets his hand cut off, right? That I see as the point where he kind of realizes he's not immortal.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the point where when he's looking at his hand getting cut off.
And this is good hand as well.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I mean.
that's
Yeah.
what gives him a bigger like.
Yeah.
That's when he kind of
realization.
realizes I'm not God. I'm not like the golden boy. I'm not invincible.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts opening up to Brienne. You learn about his past and how he basically has took on Kingslayer
Yeah.
to save everyone, basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, has one of the best, alongside I think Jon Snow, best character developments.
Yeah.
Like Tyrion as well. You know, there's really good character developments in Game of Thrones, but he has the best character development. And just I don't know, I just think he's great.
Yeah.
You know, like especially how far he's come, and also like the stunt he pulled at the end of season 7. I was like, that takes guts, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like he loves Cersei, and it's terrible. That's the one thing I hate about him.
But one thing I do love about him is that now he is realizing she's a bitch.
Yeah, no, that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
And he hates himself for loving her.
So that's what I mean.
which is
Like that's why I'm like he's
huge
got
step.
big balls, because it's like that's the one thing always dragging him down was like his love for Cersei.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
always been on the wrong side, and like that's why at the end of season 7 when he was just like, nah, you know, I'm going with them to fight.
Yeah.
I was like, you've become perfect now. You are the ultimate. And
Yeah.
the fact that he survived, I never thought he'd survive this long. You know, I never thought he'd make it to the last
A
season.
Yeah.
question: do you reckon there will be a battle between the North and the South? Because I actually don't think there will
Ooh.
be.
I
think there's going to be sort of like this, this march up north, because we've seen footage in the trailer where the Golden Army are traveling over,
Yeah.
thanks to the
I feel like knowing
The
Cersei,
whatchamacallit.
she might.
forgotten the
I
names.
I have a feeling that what's going to happen is they're going to fight off the White Walkers,
Mhm.
and then
barely survive, and then Cersei will come up from the south and be like, "Oh, nice army you've got there. Looks a bit dead."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's the type of bitch she is.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen, because that'll be such a kick in the balls. But for some reason, I get the feeling that she's just going to be waiting for them all to kill each other. Like there'll be a few survivors, like maybe half
and
the
she'll
army,
fight.
and then she'll
Thing
just
is, though-
she'll just bring her army in
Yeah.
and just
thing
finish
is,
them
though,
off.
say if the Northern Army lose, which can happen. This story is so
Yeah,
open-ended.
100%.
There is a possibility that the Night King might rule the world.
I don't think
I don't
they'll
want
do
that
no.
to happen.
No.
I feel like, I mean, they've said, I mean, based on what everyone said, because I've read a bit of everything from different actors.
Yeah.
They've said it's obviously they've alluded to the actual ending, and they've alluded to each individual ending, if that makes sense.
Right,
Yeah.
To each character.
Yeah.
From what they've said is that it's a bittersweet ending. And
That's what I want.
Yeah, and they've
Yeah.
said that it's not going to please everyone,
Good.
but it is a good ending.
Yeah.
That's what makes me think that it's not going to be the Night King. It's still a possibility.
I think it will be Gendry.
See,
I don't know. No, I don't think
what
so.
on the throne?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, what I don't think this will happen. What I would ideally like to see, because now again we're massively into spoilers, but with Jon and Daenerys essentially being together now, I would like Daenerys on the Iron Throne and Jon to be Ward in the North, so he's
That's
kind of
yeah.
yeah, well,
full
that's
circle.
the
what Jon-
ideal scenario.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
don't think that
No.
will
No, but
happen.
but that's what Jon would want to happen.
Yeah,
I feel like
he doesn't
something's-
want to be
yeah.
king. No one in the North has ever wanted to be
No.
king.
yeah,
I feel like what's gonna happen is something like they win, like Jon, I don't know, like gets Daenerys pregnant, but then dies, and then it's like
Yeah.
the child. You know what I mean?
right.
I feel
okay.
like it's gonna be that type, not necessarily that's gonna be the ending, but I feel like it's gonna be something good happens, but in order for something good to happen, something really, really bad has to happen first. Do you
Yeah.
know what I
Do you
mean?
know what I'm kind of seeing happening is, and this might be a bit of a stretch. The North
Yeah,
fights.
that's a really bad joke.
Wow. The North fights the dead,
right.
beats them.
Cool.
The North fights the South, beats them.
Oh,
Then Jon and Daenerys fight because he wants to be king of the North.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But she wants to rule all of Westeros because she
Oh.
has made it clear she wants the entire country, and
Yeah.
he does not want to be a part of Westeros.
And then she
None
kills
of the
Jon.
northern houses want to be a part of the entire country anymore. They want to be separate.
Yeah.
I see conflict there,
Oh god. Yeah.
and I see Tyrion turning against her.
Really?
Well, they did kind of
A
hint
lot
at
of
it,
people,
didn't they?
a lot of people think that Tyrion's going to turn on her. Based on the decisions he's made in the past, I see him turning on her eventually.
Well,
wow.
you remember season 7 when he kind of looked in on them having sex?
yeah,
You know, and his face was
Yeah.
kind of like,
Oh,
this is
fuck.
bad.
yeah,
Because I read a few theories, because I think even Peter Dinklage kind of like elaborated on it. He said it's more of a like, he knows what that'll bring, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Right,
Like he
okay.
knows the problems that's gonna.
Yeah.
But a lot of people kind of read it as he's spying, and he's like, you know what I mean? I don't
Right.
know.
doing.
I
Yeah.
guess
dirty
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
But
Because
Yeah, sure.
what's the eunuch called again?
Varys.
Varys.
Varys, yeah.
He's got something going on. I reckon.
Definitely.
Like that's the thing. That's the only one thing I do hope, if as like a closing on TV shows and Game
Uh-huh.
of Thrones, is that they just answer all questions.
All of
Just
them,
don't
'cause
leave
yeah.
any stones
The
unturned.
three main players
yeah.
have been Littlefinger, Varys, and I think Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Those three have been
Littlefinger's gone.
He's gone, yeah.
But
like,
even,
they've
like-
all played parts in
I mean,
what something.
There's
has
little
happened.
plot lines like the Red Queen, like when she just turned into an old hag. Like you're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that ever again? Is that relevant? Was that just for the bants? There's a lot of like things that I just pray they don't forget.
Yeah.
I mean, we did think they forgot about Gendry, and they didn't. So
True.
I'm hopeful, but that's all I
Yeah.
hope. It's
They've
just
done
they
really
don't.
well with
yeah.
rings.
Yeah.
But like, I see the big battle at the end that I was referring to then
Yeah.
ending where neither side win. They just kill each other.
that would be yeah.
And
I feel like though
that's
that is
why
too.
I think Gendry would then because
Right,
he's
okay.
because then there's no Targaryens left,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you know who was in line before then was the Baratheons.
Yeah.
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 And he is he's an illegitimate child of Robert Baratheon, but he's still a Baratheon.
Still
Yeah.
Baratheon, yeah.
He's I think he's been given the name Baratheon.
I'm
But
not
technically, as
sure.
well, he's still more legitimate than, like, say, Joffrey, because Joffrey was
Joffrey
Yeah.
was
complete bastard. He
n-
wasn't even a Baratheon.
He was exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Right. Should we move on to games?
games, yeah.
Games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Callum,
well,
you shoot then. You
Cal,
haven't-
you
Oh,
can go
oh,
first.
yeah,
if
you
you
go
All
want,
right.
yeah.
first.
Fine. Yeah. So, as for games coming out this year, obviously Matt, you've mentioned Pokemon.
Yeah.
The only other one I can really think of is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I don't know if
Okay.
either
Wait,
of you
isn't
have
that
heard of
out?
it. No, it's coming out supposedly this year. I don't know if it'll be delayed again.
Again.
I hope not. So, for anyone unaware, Bloodstained is like sort of the equivalent of, if you remember when is it Keiji Inafune did Mega Man, and then he left and does Mighty Number 9, which is just, not Mega Man.
Wait, can I jump in real quick?
Is
Is this a sequel to the first Bloodstained?
you mean Curse of the Moon?
Yes. Is that a
that,
thing?
That was,
I downloaded something called, I swear it was Bloodstained. I'm really
Bloodstained's
confused.
Ritual of the Night is the main game. Curse of the Moon, they hit a Kickstarter goal to make an 8-bit prequel. That's all that is.
Did I?
So
you carry on.
okay.
There's something I'm really.
So-
I downloaded a game the other day that was
Right.
basically this, which I thought was this.
yeah,
but
so
now you
so
confused me.
Bloodstained is being done by Koji Igarashi, who did the majority of the Castlevania Metroid style games. So it is a spiritual successor to Castlevania games like Symphony of the Night, Aria of Sorrow, all that stuff. So that's supposed to be out this year. Again, it is literally just not Castlevania. It's Castlevania in everything but name. Which, I mean, great. Like, if Konami's not going to do it, get the guy who, perfected this thing to do it. It looks promising. In fact, it was the most successful Kickstarter ever until, I think a few days after PlayStation did the Shenmue 3 thing and just beat them out. But, it smashed every goal because everyone was like, yes, we want Castlevania again.
Right,
And it looks promising. It's got... You got Michiru Yamane back doing the music, who did the music for all the Castlevania games, and stuff like that. So just great. Like, if there's going to be another Metroidvania by him, I'd love to play it. But again, it's a Kickstarter. You always got to be a bit iffy. You never know what could go wrong.
Fair point.
So
yeah.
I'm excited, but just erring on the side of caution with this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's about it. Apart from games with unspecified release dates, like Cyberpunk 2077 and Death Stranding, which has been supposedly behind schedule. I wonder why.
Yeah. Maybe because Kojima's probably in this building right now.
Yeah, he's probably meeting someone vaguely famous who
probably
knows
hanging out
all.
with Steve Johnson right now.
Yeah, because I don't want to be too much of a dick. I'm sure he does a lot of work. But in his Twitter, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just out with my mates in the film industry and gonna throw a big staff party." It's like, have you done any work this week? What's going on?
He's just on
Where's this game you've been given money for?
He's on a 7-day bender from Sony. Sony's just gave him money, and
It's
they're
been 2 years.
they're like, "Oh, Mr. Kojima, how's the game coming along?" He's like,
There's a game.
There's a game.
Yeah.
I man, I made Metal Gear 5 years ago, man.
I'm just doing this for networking. I don't know what game you're on about.
Side note, it was
I
Curse
thought that
of
was
the
just a
Moon,
grand.
Oh,
What are you on about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were just paying me off
Yeah.
for that E3 appearance.
So yeah, that's it for me for games, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I've mentioned Pokemon already.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am super excited for it.
Same.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be much better than Sun and Moon and
I hope
Ultra
so.
Sun and Moon were. An issue with Sun and Moon was that, like you said earlier, they changed it, and
yeah.
See, I'm all for change, but
no, I am
think
Not
it was
in
more,
that sense.
not in that sense.
It was a bit hand-holdy at times, I
Yeah.
think. I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed it.
What I hate about Pokemon games released recently is that there are an hour and a half tutorials right at the beginning of the game, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, surely because you haven't changed the formula so much in the last few years,
You can get
we
to grips with it.
know what's
Yeah,
happening,
Yeah.
and you should have the option to do it at least.
Yeah, I get
Because
that.
I get for new players that they
Oh,
might
yeah,
need
absolutely,
some understanding, but there should be an option to skip the tutorial
Yeah,
and just
100%.
get on with it. And it's not that difficult to implement that at all.
And it's such a simple game as well.
It is,
If
it
you
really
don't know
is.
what you do, the only thing you can get confused on is when it used to tell you oh, you have to go to this city, and then every path is possibly blocked.
It's
Yeah.
like
you have to find that hidden.
It's like Smosh Games have their honest game trailers,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and they did this one about Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, I guess, where they were like, oh yeah, this game is so easy that you can make a team of 6 if you like, or you can just bam through the game with your starter and
Yeah.
none of it matters. You can just get on with it. It's
Yeah.
that easy. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's quite true about most of the games at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
get
got
that.
through Fire Red with just a Charizard, and I'm like, yeah, that thing's got a lot of weaknesses, but train that thing up and you're
Oh, yeah.
invincible.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, surely the game's easy enough that you don't need a tutorial, or at least should have the option not to do it.
Yeah. There should just be a thing where, because a lot of people want this, just have you played Pokemon before? Yes. Okay, we'll skip this.
Yeah.
I don't agree when people are make it hard, take this all away for. It's like, well, no, you want casual people to know how to play the game.
No,
And that's what
just
was
make it
great about
just
Black
make it
and
an
White.
option. You know?
Do you remember Black and White had a hard version?
Yeah, but
And I
wasn't
was
it?
like, that was quite good.
Wasn't that a bit weird? Wasn't it like Black 2 had hard and White 2 had easy or something? You could only play one on one
Yeah.
version, I think.
Black and White had the option, and then Black White and 2 and 2, whatever, had this like, this
Yeah,
one's hard,
that
this
was-
one's easy, and I
that
was like,
was
that's a
weird.
bit dumb, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Because
the specifics
There's
of it, but,
version
yeah.
exclusives in each game, and I'm like,
No,
what?
I wasn't part of that.
No.
that
no,
era.
Platinum
Yeah.
was like my last one, and then I came back. From
Mine
the
was-
See,
Ruby.
Black and White was my last like era that I had interest in, and I
okay.
hated Black and White 1, but I
Yeah.
loved 2.
Same, because my last one close to platinum was Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and then I sort of spot checked sporadically, so I
Yeah.
played a bit of Black and White, Black to
That's
White
what I
too.
did, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
But like, I am quite excited for this new one.
yeah, same.
I'm kind of confused with the map because
Isn't
it's England and Scotland flip,
Yeah, upside down. Yeah,
and it's like, okay, makes sense, I guess.
yeah.
Supposedly today, Carlos and Alola were both confirmed to possibly be in the
Oh,
game.
Because there was I
Alola
saw
more likely than Carlos because
really. I
like,
would say
surprise-
Carlos. Would
I
be
thought
more
Carlos
likely.
would be because of the channel thing.
Yeah, it's France. Yeah,
It's France. It's
and England.
literally right next
Yeah.
over, but apparently Alola's more likely.
Huh? Because I was seeing people theorize that in
Just lost
Carlos.
me, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like.
Okay,
I,
don't worry. So obviously the new one's based on England. Carlos is based on France,
Right.
Yeah.
which is in Pokemon X and Y for
Yeah.
context.
Oh, okay.
And in that
Yeah, I didn't
game,
play those ones.
apparently there is a train station and you can't
Yeah,
use it. It
and
doesn't.
can't use
You
it,
don't
yeah.
know where it goes. And don't people mention like, oh wait, no, they mention like a region far away, but I believe that was in reference to Alola. But
well, the war.
Yeah, the
Supposedly,
war, the
supposedly
war.
this new region is the war that Carlos was at war with.
which would make perfect
Makes
sense.
perfect sense because there was a war between the UK and France like
Yeah.
hundreds of years ago,
Yeah.
and they've sort of semi hinted at armored Pokemon in this new game as well,
Okay.
where like you get a shield form and a sword form.
That's cool.
So it's improving attack or
Yeah.
improving defense.
And I mean,
And I'm
yeah,
thinking this might be a counter to Mega Evolutions.
that could be cool.
So
I
like
hated Mega Evolutions.
I thought they were
Really?
cool. I hated Z moves.
I just
Yeah,
thought
Z
they-
moves were a bit
suck.
I think all of them for me, it was just kind of like.
I liked him. It was a cool addition.
For me, it just
It's
didn't
a
add
gimmick,
anything.
but
I
yeah.
didn't. I
No,
never
no, no.
used it once because I was like, I'm
I
strong
thought
enough
the
as
Z
it
moves
is.
added nothing personally. Like at least
Yeah.
Mega Evolution sort of like changed the multiplayer like VGC stuff a bit.
Yeah,
But
I
Z moves
suppose.
were just sort of like, oh yeah, let's just have this thing have a really good attack that might KO you.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no point doing that really. You might as well just like change the entire match rather than one turn.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this new type of, I think they're adding too many things like form wise to these games now.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because the thing is now when you go into VGC, you get a team of 6 and then you can pick 4 to go into the fight with.
Uh-huh.
And when you're playing against another person, you're now going to have to predict which of their Pokemon is the Mega,
Mhm.
which one has a Z move, and which one has a shield or sword
Yeah,
form.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the point?
That's what, like, going back to just the idea of like simplicity as well.
Yeah. And it's
It's
the
like-
simplicity that was great about Pokemon at first, but
Yeah.
they're just overthinking it a bit now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fan of it personally. But yeah, with the whole adding regions to it, they haven't really done that since
Gen 2.
Gen 2,
Yeah,
yeah.
with-
And the remakes of Gen 2, yeah.
Yeah, which was amazing at the time.
Fantastic,
you know.
yeah.
Like, wow.
It was an actual sequel without it being a sequel.
Yeah, it was like 3 years after. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'm not going to spoil this because I still think it's cool. That last fight in Gen 2,
Yeah.
I didn't know about that as a kid, and my jaw actually dropped. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
they
Wait,
did
what's
that.
that now?
The final fight in Gen 2. Okay.
I mean,
So
it's so long ago. you
spoilers
might as
for
well
a
say it.
20-year-old
yeah, no, I was
game.
gonna say.
Yeah.
So at the very end, you fight your character from the
Oh
first
shit!
game,
Yeah, yeah.
which is amazing.
Amazing.
I love
Crazy.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that's cool.
Which is something I liked about Black and White 2, is that there are flashbacks to... If you played Black 1
Uh-huh.
and then played White 2, there were flashbacks to Black.
Yeah.
Because White 2 was... So, like, Black, you had the White legend, and White, you got the Black one.
yes.
But then they fixed that in Black and White 2, where you got the White one in White and Black in Black.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you picked White 2, you'd have flashbacks to events from Black and bits in between that
Yeah.
you didn't actually play, but there are things that you missed
Yeah.
in Black. And they cut your character out if you haven't played that game on this DS already.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
But if you've played it on there, they add it in.
Oh,
That's
wow.
And
nice.
I
it's
didn't know that.
It's fantastic.
cool.
That was the feature in Black and White 2 that I enjoyed most,
Yeah.
is that they did incorporate Black and White in there.
Oh, nice.
Which is something I hate about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, is that even though I enjoyed them more than I did Sun and Moon because I
Right.
played both, they had no tie into each other because it was just an alternate version of the other one. I was like,
forgot
why not
those games even existed?
Yeah, like,
I never
why
played them.
not make a sequel?
Yeah.
So it was a bit disappointing, really. But I really hope that they do incorporate this sort of like, this is a few years along the line to Alola
Yeah.
and Kalos sort of thing. I want you to be able to go into Kalos
Yeah, I hope so.
desperately because
That
there
would
is
be
so much
really
stuff in there
cool.
that you miss.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you want to take over, Sam? Because I have something I can complain about another game, but this is you can a game that's already out.
Oh, okay.
It's Jump Force.
Yeah, that was a bit
Yeah.
of a.
Can
I
be
mean, I
many
saw it.
Because I know
come
that you guys
over.
can pitch in on this too. Is
Yeah.
that like the first two like Shonen Jump games that came out were like quite amazing.
Yeah, are those J-Stars Victory verses you're on about?
Yes, those are
Right,
the ones I'm
yeah.
referring to. Then they sort of rebooted it, didn't they? And I think it
Yeah.
was Spike that took over. And I got this from a video mainly. Since Spike took over, like it's gone to shit. So like there was that
Right.
one that from a few years ago with characters like from Assassination Classroom, and then you've got like a few from you had Joseph and Jonathan
Yeah.
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
JoJos, and at this point as well, Goku was a background character because
Right,
Dragon Ball
okay.
wasn't quite as big as it was before or is now.
Okay, yeah.
So like it faded into the background a bit, but was still relevant.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
could play as Goku and Vegeta, but they weren't that big. And then they made this new one, where everyone's like, "Oh, this looks so cool." You got all the OG guys like Goku, Naruto, and Luffy. You've got Jotaro and Dio, which was a big improvement on Joseph and Jonathan because they
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
much more playable characters in terms of abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
And people are really hyped for this. And they ended up just like making it shit.
Yeah.
The problem I've heard. So I don't know if you guys have seen the cutscenes for the story mode.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, they're
Absolutely
shocking.
trash. Like it looks so bad. But like the combat as well. I'm like,
Yeah.
the appeal of these games is that, hey, the story mode. I think everyone kind of expected the story mode to be cheesy and shit.
Definitely,
You
yeah.
know, when
like-
you're literally making your own character. and
Yeah.
shit. It's like bad fan fiction.
Yeah.
But it's like the appeal is normally like, hey, the story mode might be shit, but at least we can, have a really good, in-depth combat system and just play that. And then I looked and everyone was like, no, combat system's shit as well.
Yeah,
I'm like,
'cause,
apparently it's really simplistic.
interestingly speaking about that, actually, I found a video on YouTube of 30 minutes of a guy abusing people online playing as Dio.
Yeah.
And I was like, this game is so broken that you can play for 30 minutes non-stop, several different games,
Yeah.
linearly, as one character and just button people about. He doesn't switch characters at all.
Yeah.
He stays as Dio through the entire fight, and
Yeah.
you can just beat him with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you shouldn't be able to do that in a game like this.
No.
Yeah.
There should be counters to everything.
Yeah. And
And,
like
like-
even then, like just from what I've heard about the combat, is literally just like, it's just a few combos and just button mashing.
Yeah, and apparently like it slows the game down after certain combos are used. Apparently
Right.
Naruto has this one where like it's a button mashing one, and then he jumps in to make an attack, and then he doesn't attack at all.
Oh,
It's sort of like a dash movement.
Yeah.
And I think they sort of just threw that in there to make it look like they thought about how you can carry on with combo attacks or block them
Yeah.
up and stuff. But no, it actually just throws him
Like,
at the character, and he doesn't move.
Yeah, I might check it out when it's in like the
Yeah.
bargain bucket, but it's not
Yeah.
like, that's another thing, is that they have the audacity to charge £50 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know
And,
your market.
Fair's
Just,
the Bandai Namco, because Fighters came out. What was it, last year?
January. It's
Yeah.
literally been a year now.
Yeah,
A year
wow,
now,
yeah.
and that was a fantastic game.
It
And
was.
they've
Great
proven
game,
they
that was.
can produce a good game, because
Yeah.
even though Xenoverse was a fun game, it wasn't
Yeah.
perfect.
What wasn't
I
it?
loved
So-
Xenoverse.
Xenoverse-
but
Yeah,
yeah,
No,
it
that's what
wasn't
I'm
yeah.
saying. I liked
Yeah.
it, but it wasn't
Well, it wasn't
perfect.
perfect.
Fighters
No.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
The story was surprisingly great, and
Yeah.
they've been quite on it with fixing like issues they've had with the mechanics fighting wise.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah.
they've buffed certain characters, they've nerfed certain characters,
Yeah.
and they fixed it up a bit. But like with this game, it's been a month since it's
Yes,
out,
a
and
mess.
there are
It's pretty much
so
dead.
many issues
Yeah.
with it, and they
Yeah.
haven't even thought of fixing it yet. And it's Spike's fault.
Yeah.
They're the developers behind it, and they've done it before.
Yeah,
and they fucked
have.
that game up so bad, and they've just
Yeah.
rushed this one.
Yeah.
I'd just say, if you want a good shonen jump game with a better roster, just play Jump Ultimate Stars for the DS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There are
shit, that was so
English
good.
translations
so good.
online. I won't
Yeah.
tell you where
Someone,
to get
yeah,
them,
someone
but
said
there we
like they can. Someone said like they should just remaster that.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Yeah. Well, on a more positive note, you know,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to some good games.
Really?
Yeah.
Fire away.
Like so there's a new Hello Kitty game.
Sign me up.
No, I mean, if we're talking
Probably
about
already
literally
pre-ordered.
something that's coming out in like 2 days, well,
Okay.
2 days as of recording this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, date in this episode.
yeah, I know.
Oh.
Devil May Cry 5.
Dun,
Cannot
dun,
wait
Nice.
for that.
dun.
It looks great, looks gorgeous.
Uh-huh.
Combat looks
Thank you.
great. They've got like all the cool characters back. It's a sequel rather than following on from DMC. I mean, right, I'm hoping it looks really good. Graphically it looks amazing, so I'm
Yeah.
like, fingers crossed it does pay off. I can't see it being bad. But you know,
No, I mean,
you never know.
Capcom have been on the ball lately.
Yeah, Capcom
They've
being on
done
the
a
up.
lot of good.
Love Capcom at this point.
Yeah.
Big up if you're listening, Capcom. Keep it up, guys. You're doing great.
Yeah. If you want to
Yeah.
chuck a sponsorship our way,
Yeah.
give me a
If
call.
you want to send me free
yeah.
copies of Devil May Cry, I can play on our new live stream that I've just announced.
Are we just announcing things we
yeah,
want
we
to
just-
make up now? Oh,
yeah,
great,
yeah.
okay. I'll keep that in mind. Carry on.
You can send donations to our Patreon. What else? Days
Got a
Gone.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Days Gone. Right. So
That's been how long have they announced that for?
that's what I mean. Right. So I'm really on the fence with this one.
Yeah.
Do you know if it's actually coming out now?
It's out
though?
in April. 100%
Okay,
out in April.
right.
It was meant to come out in January.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
They said that it's been delayed till April, and that is the see all end all now. It's April.
Right.
They've started doing, which is what I'm going to come into now. So they've started doing like hands-on previews with some
Uh-huh.
companies like
Right,
IGN
yeah.
just released one now. So that makes me think, okay, they are actually coming out. It is actually coming out then.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the game got announced, and I was like, this looks really good. You know, like I'm kind of sick of zombie games.
Right.
There's a lot of them. A lot of them are bad, but I don't think it's safe to say that the genre itself is no pun intended dead. But like no, but there's a lot of generic ones. There's a lot of boring ones. But then when they kind of do something new, like Days Gone, you know, and I don't know if you saw the original E3 reveal.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but yeah.
You know, when he was up on the he had like this makeshift silencer which looked really weird, and,
Uh-huh.
and there were like hundreds, like thousands of zombies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like running through this like industrial complex, like closing the doors, and they were bursting through, and they were like climbing up, like kind of like World War Z.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a really interesting concept, because
Yeah.
usually you'll either have like zombies as the main enemies and they take a few hits to go down, or you'll have them as like, you know, cannon fodder, but there's not really that many. But this is literally going, yeah, you can kill them all in like one bullet, but there's a goddamn lot of them, so do you really want to fight them?
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, cool, I'm on board for this game. And then it kept getting delayed. There was like this big 30-minute demo, which didn't look that interesting.
And in that time, they've announced the World War Z game as
Game,
well,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is
Yeah.
pretty much nearly identical in sort of like.
Yeah, I
Kinda.
think they're going for more of a
It's more of a like Call of Duty,
multiplayer.
yeah, and it's more of a Call of Duty like
Yeah.
round by round game.
Yeah,
but
which
in
is a
similar-
bit disappointing, because I was
Yeah.
like, I was kind of hoping you'd do an open world one.
Yeah,
But that's why Days Gone is still on my radar. I like the idea of being on an open world on your bike.
right.
I think
yeah.
that sounds really cool, because it's
Mhm.
like, apparently you have to like, you know, fix your bike up. You can't just leave it there in a
Right.
forest. Like if you leave it there, like it'll rust or it'll
Uh-huh.
you know, it'll break. You need it as like your getaway vehicle. There's all these different factors that play into it. Like some of the zombies prefer cold weather, so they actually get somehow stronger in cold weather and
Ooh,
stuff
it's
like
quite
that.
chilly right now, and it's Steve.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
put a
and
jacket
it's like,
on.
yeah, if you think about it, I mean, I hope they explain it, because right now it's kind of like,
Yeah,
okay, cold weather makes you stronger,
Steve Johnson
But,
comes out of nowhere as a zombie wearing a coat.
but like, yeah, there was this 30-minute demo of like a it was like a I don't even know how to explain it. It was like a compound, like him invading a compound, I
Yeah.
suppose. And it just kind of looked like the most generic, go here, silently take out enemies, raise
Yeah.
the flag and capture the... And that's when everyone was like, yeah, it looks a bit shit, doesn't it? But that's also when they delayed it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, are you... Because the thing is, Sony Bend, the company that are making it,
Mhm.
really good company.
Yeah.
They haven't really had much time to shine, because they've made like... They made Uncharted Golden Abyss on the Vita,
Right.
which was a great game, but obviously it was weighed down by being on the Vita and being an Uncharted spin-off. You know, they don't get to spread their wings. So, like, I feel like I really want them to do well, and I feel like they will.
Yeah.
And the fact that they did delay it as soon as they saw, like, problems is a good sign.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also like, there's something about this game that's... But I was watching a preview earlier, and they've actually said now the story's really good, the gameplay's really fun, so...
Okay.
Fingers crossed that'll be good.
Yeah.
The rest, similar to Callum, then, is just kind of stuff like... I've noticed, like, there's not much I realise has a release date this year. I
Yeah.
generally don't pre-order anything till I know when it's out.
Makes sense.
And like, you know, like Last of Us 2, I'm really looking forward to. Can't wait
That's
for
gonna be
that.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no release date. Probably not coming out this
and
year.
Not much footage, like
No.
trailer-wise.
Probably not even coming out this generation. It's probably gonna be like
Yeah.
PS5.
Yeah.
They'll probably have made like 6 films before then
exactly.
anyway. Like,
Yeah. Death Stranding's another one I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Providing it is a game and not a 5-hour documentary on Kojima and meeting Edgar Wright.
Yeah. It could be.
It could well be.
might be the same person.
People
you know?
would love it though. They'd be like, "Oh, Kojima is so avant-garde. It really makes you think about humanity." You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be one of those people. Kojima could just like literally record himself shitting, and I'd be like,
Everyone would be like, "Wow, he's done
Wow.
it again."
Wow,
Wow.
it's just so
Incredible.
Is this-
human, you know?
Yeah.
"Is this a representation of Metal Gear now?" You know.
Yeah. Oof.
What's that one? The Ghost of Tsushima. That looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the From Software guys? The
No,
Dark
you're thinking of
Souls?
Sekiro.
Oh right, yeah.
Ghost
I
of
get
Tsushima.
confused.
Yeah,
between the
Ghost of
two.
Tsushima is Sucker Punch's
Oh, okay.
samurai game, which
Yeah.
looks sick.
Sucker Punch did Infamous, didn't they?
They did indeed.
Right. Okay.
I want to see what are they called? I don't know why my brain's just on a shutdown now. Blue Point. Am I
Blue
right?
Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they working on?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Oh, yeah. Haven't they said they're working on another remaster?
Yeah, so they're like, I mean, I don't really defend remakes or remasters,
Yeah.
but if they're done good,
I mean,
which-
they did the Shadow of the Colossus one, which is great.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all their
so-
remasters have been great.
Yeah, so like Blue Point are, I mean, if you're gonna do it, Blue Point are young boys. You
Yeah.
know, they did the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection as well,
Yeah.
which, as far as remasters go, is one of my favorites.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are hoping it's going to be like some sort of remake remaster of the first Metal Gear Solid.
I'm on that boat where I'm like,
I'm not sure
I don't
how I
think it
feel at
will
this
be.
No, I don't see it
'Cause,
happening.
right,
I'm
so
sure they'd want
The
to.
statement they released was, "This is the most ambitious thing they've ever done." Right? To me, that doesn't imply Metal Gear.
Yeah. Unless
Ambitious.
they're overhauling the gameplay, which
But
maybe they have to.
Yeah, but they didn't imply, like, for me they would have said something like, "This is the most, like, not controversial as such, but do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
culturally important." Or the way they said ambitious to me implies that it's a big open world that they're
Okay.
Yeah.
remaking, which would be ambitious. You know,
Yeah.
like, to me, a Metal Gear remake wouldn't be ambitious.
Yeah.
No,
I
because
mean,
it's just
it's
rehashing the
it's
same
been-
thing.
Yeah.
Metal
It's a
Gear
remake for a
Solid has
reason,
already
like-
been remade once.
That's
and
what I
the
mean.
remake was
And it-
awful.
Exactly,
So,
but it's like, I wouldn't, you know, like something like remaking. This is a really stupid example, but remaking like GTA 3,
Yeah.
that would be ambitious.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's, you know, taking a company's game that is quite renowned for, you know, their style.
yeah, and for never really doing remasters
Yeah.
as well.
And literally, yeah, and taking that and taking a game that arguably was the first open world game. How's that gonna look nowadays?
Yeah.
And also remaking an open world game. That to
Yeah.
me is ambitious, because it's like, you're not just remaking a level, you're remaking a world.
Right.
Yeah.
Metal Gear doesn't really like fall down that route for me.
Yeah, I guess
It's not ambitious if you're remaking Metal Gear. It's just crazy. Like, it's just
Yeah.
it's just I guess controversial. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the word I'm looking for, but ambitious ain't it. That ain't it,
Yeah.
Chief.
Speaking of remakes, not certain if this is an exact remake, but there's a
Uh-huh.
new Crash Team Racing game, Nitro
Yes.
Field, coming out in June.
So that's what I get confused about. The terms are blurred these days. So
yeah.
it is.
That's a remake, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
it's from the
original is
ground
just
up.
called
Yeah.
Crash Team,
Crash Team
Racing,
Racing.
and yeah, like the Nitro
Yeah.
Field.
The way I
Well,
do
it's
a-
like the Insane trilogy. It's remastered, but then they replace all the graphics, and
yeah,
isn't the engine works differently? Hence, like the collision.
Yeah,
on
yeah. So the
Crash
way
is
I
different.
would normally
Yeah.
this is I don't think companies even know. The way I determine
No.
it is a remaster is where you take the game, polish it a bit, you know, maybe like patch in some things or like
like they did
Yeah.
with
retexture it.
The Last of Us for PS4.
Yeah,
like they
like
didn't,
all
they
the
didn't
HD
change
color.
anything.
No.
They just
Yeah.
made it look better.
Yeah.
A remake
fix
is when
tweaks,
you literally you're looking at the game, but
Yeah.
you're it's like tracing. No, it's not like remastering is tracing,
Yeah.
remaking is
Yeah.
copying.
But then how do you? Because like the Crash, if we call them remakes of the first 3 games,
Yeah.
but they play like the first 3 games more or less with some changes, whereas Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes or Resident Evil for GameCube, they are remakes. They do not play like the originals.
I don't think there's like a
So-
set rule. But
No,
what I
it's
mean,
quite
yeah,
broad.
but like even, you know, you say that, but even like Shadow of the
No, but
Colossus
again, like,
is
an
without
ar-
a doubt a remake. But that
Yeah, but
plays again.
also- yeah, it's
Again, an
almost
argument you can
identical.
make though is that sure the feeling of the game might be the same in one aspect, and then the other one might not. But like they're using new
Yeah.
aspects
they're
for,
building
like,
it from the
they're-
ground
They're
up.
It depends
remaking
how-
it, even if
Yeah.
the game mechanics are the same.
Well, it's the same way like you look at like Fable Anniversary, which plays exactly the same but has all the assets replaced. So I don't know if I'd consider that a remake because they've not built anything from the ground up. They took the original and replaced assets.
The way,
but
that's
then
the way
they
I look
also
at it.
changed
It's like,
it's-
like
it's
Sam said
bizarre.
about the retracing thing. I guess
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
can sort of be argued to be a remastering. I guess,
Remastering
really.
is like adding something new and or
Yeah.
like just patching graphics, but remaking for me has to be like I don't get why they said like when they were announced Crash they were like remastered from the ground up, and I'm like that sentence doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No.
You
Plus,
can't
like,
You
remaster
can't
something from the
remaster.
ground
I
up.
mean,
Remaking it from the ground
yeah,
up.
yeah,
That would
that's
make
what I mean.
sense, definitely, wouldn't it? But like,
They're all buzzwords anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
they keep like Hollywood like is scared of saying remake now. It's always a reboot, you know, or
Yeah.
reimagining.
But again,
you
like
know.
reboots and remakes, like
It's all
for me there's
whatever.
a distinct difference.
Oh
but
yeah, to me,
no
though,
one
but
seems
it keeps changing.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And on
So-
that bombshell, good night.
Yeah, that's
That's
about it.
that's
Yeah.
us for
Thanks
this week.
for
Yeah.
thanks for listening to this week's We're Gonna Need a Bigger podcast. If you enjoyed, you know, consider subscribing.
Yeah,
You know,
drop us a like.
tell your friends,
Share us with your friends.
tell your family, tell your nan at Christmas. Everything else.
Take us on the train. Take
know.
us on the plane.
Send
Yeah.
us
Listen
money.
wherever you
Take
want.
us to church.
Yeah.
Send us your money. You
Yeah.
know?
Send us money. We've got a Patreon coming soon.
And our just announced stream with Capcom, who are definitely not gonna sue us for plagiarism. They're
Yeah,
totally
totally.
gonna send us free
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. So right, well, we'd better get out of here before we're literally kicked out.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
for listening.
So next
Thanks.
week we will be doing convoluted plot lines, which
Ooh,
should be
cool.
really fun
Look at
considering
that
we've been
tease.
talking about Metal Gear for the last half
Oh,
hour.
and that's gonna be fun. Right.
So
There we go.
get your thinking caps on,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.